My apologies for being tardy, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm here. And in this 35th rant of Big Brother 24 entitled Triple Threat Thursday, to the best of my ability, I'm going to give the roses out to Monty and Taylor, Monte, the iconic showmance, even though it may be a little toxic to some. I wouldn't trade it in for nothing. I also need to give Turner his roses. But I also need to explain to you all why Brittany and Alyssa did not do enough to deserve sitting in those final three slots. I'm sorry. It would have been the privilege of it all that got them there, nothing they actually done themselves. See, last week, Brittany won a veto because Monty didn't compete in it. I told you all last week, Brittany had the opportunity this week to prove that wasn't a fluke, to prove she would have beaten Monty mano a mano, fair and square, if she had the opportunity to do so. She literally had a mental comp that was her wheelhouse based around dates and got dog walked by Monty the Great. So, at the end of the day, let's just keep it real in these streets. Brittany does not deserve your pity, black folks. Brittany was fully prepared to stump Taylor out, blindside her, send her home, take out Monty this week by winning the HOH, banking on some fluke situation in which Brittany wins the veto, and then she allows Alyssa to be the sole vote to evict to get rid of Monty. All those things would have happened. It would have been an all-white final three. She would have got her way. So for me to see her this week lie so long about the vote, make it seem as if she had Taylor's back, to make Taylor further question Monty's greatness, understand, everything that came with Brittany not owning up to what she did led to Taylor trying her best to impress Brittany because she believed she still had her back. See, everything Brittany did this week caused the friction between Monty and Taylor. See, if Brittany was truly a loyal friend to Taylor, she would have came clean, let bygones be bygones, and moved forward. Because she refused to be honest about how she did her friend so dirty. Monty's karmas would hit her this week. I know we like to talk about Taylor's, but I think now is the right time to really give Monty his credit and admit that brother has a karma of his own. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the critically acclaimed Cookout Crew's own the Prophecy Edition, Pop the Trunk Podcast Hall of Fame, Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. I'm, of course, your humble host, Dave Smith, Pretty Boy Smitty, Protocol Paul, Pearl Game Ultra, Smid Dog Trill, The Rant God, Hotep Thanos, Throne Thanos, Metro Kaiba, The Pro Black Prodigy, The Shadow Realm Shaman, The Pronoun Punisher, The No Sleep Assassin, The Apex Analyst, He Who Cannot Be Cancelled, The Pivoting Prophet. I might as well go ahead and unveil that new nickname. Here to bring balance back to Big Brother 24, because it seems like all of the Big Brother community is now recognizing the prophecy as being truthful, as being too strong for anyone to stop anymore. All of the above on that ISAT test and ACT hardcore. You know what it is. And ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't be prouder of this final three. But understand, in this rant, we're not just going to give credit out. We got some roasting to do. See, I got to roast Brittany because earlier today, she finally admitted that she voted out Taylor. It took her until hours before her eviction to come clean. She's using all of these guilt trip techniques with Taylor, basically trying to get Taylor to feel sorry for her, so Taylor then guilt trips Monty into feeling sorry for Brittany. That's basically what it was. And because Taylor wasn't sure of if Brittany voted her out or not, I still believe Taylor knew, but for jury management, she acted stupid because that's the best move for her game. The only way for you to guilt trip Brittany back and redirect some of that is to act unbeknownst to the truth. Allow her to tell you when she would like to tell you, right? And I will give Taylor credit for that, because her slow balling it, her slow moving this situation, slow burning it, it is the reason why Brittany's vote is locked in for her, because Brittany don't have no choice. And that brings me to what happened earlier today on feeds. Understand, Brittany was prepared to not tell Taylor what she did. Brittany threw it out there that I've been the underdog ever since Michael left, and when I watch this game, I always root for the underdog, so all I can do is hope America loved my performance this season. Oh, my God. America hasn't really cared about you since week 1 when they voted for you to get out of backstage. Outside of that, America not rocking with you like that. And see, it took Taylor to tell her to her face, I think America loves you. Unless you voted to evict me last week, Brittany. Then all of a sudden the lemon booty kicked in. Now all of a sudden Brittany's like, you know what, Taylor, I'm going to be honest. I did vote you out because now Brittany realizes, uh-oh, I'm getting taken out by Monty. I'm finna be in a hotel for a few days because I ain't seeing the jury for a second. She is realizing that everything she did last week was for nothing because it didn't work. And she's hated for nothing, which was my central argument as to why it was a waste for Brittany to even attempt. And then when she's talking to Taylor, her excuse is, well, I did it so Taylor would be so Turner would be shell-shocked, so he wouldn't be good in the HOH. Then she changed her story up again and said, well, I did it because I knew I could beat Alyssa in HOH. Well, which one is it? The goalpost keeps moving with you. You feel what I'm saying? And see, this is my problem with you, Brittany. You are an apex grifter. You believe you are entitled to Final 3 because you want to start a family. That's all great, fine and dandy. But with that said, it is not Monty's job to help you get to Final 2. It's not really Monty's job to help Taylor get there, but that's his lady. So he does have a responsibility to protect her, to be the prince who was promised, Azor Ahai, the forbidden one. And let's keep it real. Ever since that double eviction episode, Monty has pitched a no-hitter. He's played the perfect game. He's controlled every week. Even this week, Taylor's HOH, but Monty's the real HOH because he won the Final 4 veto. So for me tonight, and we'll get to the jury in a second, for me to see the jury give Monty so much credit, who played with him, then for me tonight to see the cookout give Monty no credit, they gave Turner more credit than Monty. I'm like, wait a minute, huh? It confused me. Because if you look at Monty's game, it is no different than Cody Calafiore's in BB22. Let me explain. Nicole is his Taylor, and Turner is his Enzo. No one said Cody played a bad game. No one said Cody didn't deserve to win. But it seems like because Monty's playing too well, now no one's giving him any credit because he's willing to take Taylor to Final 2 now. So they don't even want the narrative to be Monty got robbed when he played well. Look, I want Taylor to win as much as anyone else does, but I also believe the black man should be given credit for supporting the black woman and helping her fulfill the prophecy. You're not incentivizing future black men to support black women if we don't get the shine for doing it. That's my point. And yes, Monty should be held accountable for certain things he said, which we saw in the first 15 minutes of this episode. But I must stress this. If you are dating a man, ladies, you do not embarrass him in front of someone who don't got your best interests. You don't do that. You don't embarrass him to impress them, to show them this is your HOH room. When a week ago, that same man never did that to you when it was his HOH room. That's not good social gameplay. And Brittany would have been a guaranteed vote for Taylor next to Monty no matter what because she hates Monty with a passion. So for all the people saying Taylor had to do all of these things, she didn't necessarily have to. But with that said, I give her credit for understanding why jury management was important. In her mind, if she guarantees Brittany's vote, she guarantees Michael's vote. If she guarantees Michael and Brittany's vote, she could be guaranteeing the other 3 women in jury's votes. The logic behind that is sound because that is the 5 votes she would need to beat Monty. So listen, I'm someone who calls things down the middle. But I'm also someone who is an avid supporter of this same relationship. Because for better or worse, they have given us fantastic feeds in Final 4, and that is something very few and far between. How many Final 4s in Big Brother history can you honestly say had you watching feeds all day? Taylor and Monty did that. How many relationships that made Final 4, how many showmances can you honestly say it still got BB24's hashtag trending? Monty and Taylor did that. I don't care if it's 50% gameplay, 50% romance. They're providing us with fantastic entertainment. They've been studying with each other, preparing for this Final 3. Monty is not even helping Turner anymore prepare. So listen, if I'm willing to admit Monty made some mistakes and Taylor made some mistakes, cool. But as long as Monty helps Taylor study for Final 3, does anything else really matter? That's how I feel. Yeah, they may have broke up and then got back together, had some good makeup sex, the whole 9. But I saw that coming, and that's why the patrons will tell you on Sunday night I was not overreacting to nothing. I said, man, give it a day or two. They'll be back. The prophecy is too strong. And people thought the prophecy was a running joke for me for a little while. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, I'm utilizing my ability to predict stuff in a different way this season. And the merch is definitely a testament to that, because patrons will tell you I had this merch waiting weeks ago. Weeks ago, coach. When I saw Monty give Taylor that look, I said, oh, I know what's happening now. They making it to Final Three. That's one of them looks you give somebody where you like, I figured it out. He's figured it out, man. Now, with that said, let's get into the jury portion of this. Because I need to roast Alyssa. Alyssa, Bellatrix Lestrange herself. See, people thought I was being hard on her last week when I said she wasn't that different from Caldemort. When I said she got a huge pass from society. When I said her being this, oh, nice little Southern belle. Oh, I'm from Florida. All of that works for her. The white girl crying technique, all that works for her because her archetype can exploit certain cheat codes within the game. There are certain things Taylor could not implement that Alyssa could always rely on. That's my point. So for me to see the jury segment tonight, let's go in chronological order, all right? Let's not get ahead of ourselves because we need to hold people accountable across the board. Now, the rumor was, and I'm glad I didn't run too hard with this rumor because it turns out it wasn't true at all. Remember, the rumor was Terrance got into some argument with Michael. Terrance may have been suspended from sequester and all this other stuff. I never ran with that because I didn't want to assume that of the brother. I'm not going to lie, though. When I first saw the jury segment, I was thinking in my head, why is Michael here to discuss the week Terrance went home? That's not how this works. Isn't Terrance supposed to get at least 30 minutes to explain how he left, watch his VHS tape, then Michael shows up to explain what happened to him during the double? I felt like they were allowing Michael to explain 2 weeks of gameplay, which wasn't fair. And I kind of felt like, okay, if a fight did happen, production instigated it with that. But it didn't happen, or at least we didn't see it. But that's neither here nor there. So we saw Michael essentially explain what happened. Michael told us he doesn't respect Turner's game more than Monty's because Turner didn't own the move in his goodbye message. Turner tried to place the blame on Monty, believing it would be more blood than credit. But with Michael, someone who's been bathing in blood since week 1 damn near, because he don't know how to throw a comp. He's allergic to throwing comps. He looks at this like, nah, you better take credit for this. I'm the apex threat. I want y'all to admit that y'all wanted big game. You feel me? It's a dangerous game. From Michael's vantage point, he looks at Turner as having that lemon booty in his goodbye message. Now is not the time to tuck your tail and act scared. You did it already, coach. And then after that, he voted out Alyssa. Monty looks like that dude, dog. He does. But I saw this in him, and that's exactly why I said, I'm going to hold off on the criticism for a little bit. I think he sees what he should be seeing right now. Even if he started off this game in a polarizing way, and he still has to atone for certain things he has said up until now. He's a man who's all about action. And from an action standpoint, Monty and Turner even said this during his speech tonight, Turner has done more for Taylor's game than Brittany ever did. And those are facts. And who is the one convincing Turner to always do what's best for Taylor's game? Monty? Well, not best for Taylor's game, but keeping Taylor, which is best for her game because it kept her. But you get what I'm saying. This is why I'm telling y'all Monty is the Cody of this season. He's got his Nicole and his Enzo. Now, unfortunately, no black woman has won a standardized season of Big Brother. So no one's going to care about how well this man is playing. They're going to more so care about making history again. And I'm more of a supporter of making history again as well. But I just want this brother to get his credit from a strategic standpoint because he deserves that shit, man. Taylor is not in Final Three if she don't have a black man willing to step up for her. I said this to patrons on Sunday night. Da'Vonne got so frustrated with David Alexander because she just wished she had somebody that could step up a little bit. Now, granted, I thought Da'Vonne could have did a lot more to step up too, but that's not the point. The point is, Da'Vonne would have killed to have a Monty next to her. Zakiya would have killed to have a Monty next to her. Jocasta would have killed to have a Monty next to her. Amber Bazocha would have killed to have a Monty next to her. You can like or hate his personality traits, but the reason why it's so hard for black women to make Final Three is because there ain't that many Montys that get picked for these shows. They have the skill set to go under the radar and then have the killer instinct when it's time to pounce to stay at the top. These are rare skill sets. And look, I'm not saying Monty's one of the best players of all time or nothing, but what I am saying is, for me to see the Cookout, who are heavily responsible for this Final Three being so good, to see the men within the Cookout give Monty no credit, I was shocked. I'm like, now don't get it twisted. I know y'all been put through some trauma yourselves. Y'all been attacked. Y'all been put through the ringer. Y'all don't want that smoke again. I get it. But when I heard Xavier say sometimes he'd like to slap Turner and Monty the back of the head, but he never once gave Monty a compliment for his game, but he gave Turner one. Then Derek F said he's rooting for Turner and Taylor. I'm like, is everyone just rooting for Taylor and Turner in Final Two now because they're scared Monty's playing the best game? Because the way people were talking was like they didn't want an all-black Final Two. And you would think the Cookout would root for an all-black Final Two. So it was very mixed signals there. It felt like the men were muzzled a little bit. I don't know. I don't think we got the honesty out of them. I think Kylan wanted to give Monty credit. Because you know how crazy Kylan was. In a lot of ways, Kylan's very similar to Monty. Half black, half Latino, showmance while he was in power. In a lot of ways, Kylan, you the one guy I thought would defend Monty's game. And you didn't even really do it. You kind of towed that line a little bit. Shocked me. But with that said, I thought she was radiant tonight. Hannah could run for political office right now and I'd vote for her. Listen, damn, the answer she was given, I was like, damn, this girl's like, what, only 24? She's well wise beyond her years. Tiffany, she, of course, over the past few days has gone out of her way to call Joseph ugly and say that she supports Taylor and Monty no matter how toxic it is. And listen, usually I disagree with Tiffany on things, but I'm on her side when it comes to this. Not necessarily saying I wanted to see Joseph look as hurt as he did tonight, and I'm going to get to that. Don't worry. We're going to go in chronological order with the jury, but I'm freestyling. I got things on my mind. But I will say this. I appreciate the fact that Tiffany has the awareness to know Taylor and Monty reminds people of her and Kylan, so she at least supports what they're doing, because she did the same thing, technically. But when I look at Kylan not being willing to do the same thing, I'm like, wait a minute. It felt like all the men in the Cookout were forced to push a specific narrative. That's all I'm saying. But with that said, thank you for your contributions. You all should take a bow. You deserve to stand an ovation from that crowd. If they gave Kyle any claps when he walked out, they deserved y'all a standing ovation. End of story. But that's my thoughts on that. Now, let's get back to the jury, because I didn't really go all the way in chronological order. Terrance basically said he was eyeing down the gun barrel. He said he was pretty much screwed. Terrance was the same guy trying to push for Monty and Taylor to be in this family reunion. It's a family affair. He was grifting his ass off and didn't care. You feel it? Dig me, coach. It's funny. Terrance created the argument they needed to get rid of Alyssa over him because Alyssa will walk to the end. Then when Alyssa gets taken out right after Michael, well, before he realizes she gets taken out, he says the easy move would be taking out Alyssa. The good move will be taking out Monty. And I'll think in my head, like, is he saying Monty's playing the best game and he would vote for him at the end? Or is he hating on Monty and hoping Alyssa wins? I couldn't tell. But that's more of a reason why I'm glad Alyssa's going too. Michael comes in. Michael explains what happens during the double. I already got into the whole thing about him preferring Monty winning. It does seem like Jasmine does respect the fact that Turner has won comps, but I think Jasmine will vote for Monty next to Turner every time. I think if Monty is next to Turner, Monty washes him. Regardless of public opinion, I think that jury just respects Monty's game a lot more. But with that said, I'm not rooting for that final two. Let me be clear there. So that happens. Then everyone was shocked when they saw Michael come in. You see that in the thumbnail. Then after that, Alyssa comes in, okay? Now, no one thought Alyssa would walk in. Alyssa gets to talking, and then the bitterness comes out. Now, mind you, when she was on the block next to Brittany, all she said about Taylor was the most positive stuff under the sun. All right? The minute Taylor touched the block because Brittany won veto because Monty didn't get to compete in it, Alyssa immediately flipped a switch on Taylor, started treating her like crap again. Now, for me to be aware of the fact that Alyssa literally gave up the Pan Horace box to stay in the game and make jury, for me to be aware of these things, and then for me to see her during the jury segment go out of her way unabated to mention the fact that Taylor only stayed because she spent 3 nights in a row in Monty's bedroom in the HOH. It's so hypocritical for someone who put their box up for sale to then slut shame a woman for hooking up with a man that she was attracted to, but she couldn't afford to hook up with when you could, because anybody black that hooks up before jury is getting whacked. Whereas you had the privilege, Alyssa, of hooking up and lasting until Final Five. You don't get it. But she acts as if Taylor is somehow... She makes the argument that Taylor is somehow less than for waiting until Final Five to give it up. But Alyssa, in week 5, gave it up. You feel what I'm saying? Listen. If this is a speed dating situation, Taylor has put Monty through 40 dates and 40 nights. Alyssa, you have been on the one night only Lil Wayne side of the game. One night stand side of the game. And from what I'm hearing, you're getting it cracking in jury with Kyle again. So y'all ain't really broken up. And the things he was accused of don't matter to you. And this is exactly why I said this entire time you were Bellatrix Lestrange. This is literally Alyssa right now in jury trying to criticize Taylor. This is her trying to escape Azkaban, recruiting Death Eaters. She sees the wall open up, thinks she can talk crap about Taylor. Alyssa, it's time to read a room, baby. It's time to read a room. No one respects your game. And for you to disrespect Taylor, the one woman I thought you would be able to relate to, it just further justifies... Hold on, let me make sure y'all could hear me. It just further justifies why Taylor had to sleep with Monty so you couldn't. See, let's keep it all the way a bean tonight. What Alyssa's really mad about is that she couldn't put that box up for sale again. It's like going to Best Buy and trying to buy a used item. Alyssa got that open box policy. Exposed. You're getting dog walked tonight. You're getting dog walked. We need a price change. Come on, coach. You literally used the jury moment, knowing that would make TV. You could have did that away from cameras, coach. That let me know how petty you are. That let me know how salty you are. That she was the only player next to you on the block you couldn't stay over. You're pissed. Super salty. And this is why the Cookout's legacy is so important, because players like Alyssa and Brittany used to always make Final Threes. Not anymore. You got to prove your merit now. And that's what's driving him up a wall. Brittany tried to create this argument. If Monty doesn't take Taylor to Final Two, I won't respect him. But if he takes Taylor to Final Two, I'll respect him. So if Monty takes Turner to Final Two, that somehow is wrong for him to do. And yet, Brittany was prepared to cut Taylor last week, cut Monty this week, and take Alyssa or Turner to Final Two. If she would have won veto, she would have cut Monty this week and taken Turner to Final Two over Taylor. But once again, if Monty does these things, he's wrong. If Brittany's entitled ass does these things, it's good gameplay. Now, kudos to you, Brittany. When you spoke to Julie, you at least admitted Monty made the right move after capping all week like he was choking the game away by doing what was best for his game. If you don't keep me, I'm going to poison the jury against you. Newsflash, Brittany, that jury hates your guts. Matter of fact, if you go to that round table whether it's tomorrow night or whatever, if you go to that round table and you decide to make it the Monty bashing hour, you're just going to hand him the game next to Taylor. Mark my words. You're better off just staying silent. And now that we know Alyssa's out here slut-shaming, we know she ain't going to be on no. It's all about Taylor winning. I don't know. I think Alyssa is going to hate on Taylor something serious, and she's going to, because I think Kyle respects Monty more than Taylor. And I think Alyssa's going to follow her showmance's vote. What she did by admitting Taylor was in Monty's bed, it put Monty over as the better player right there. Because it was his HOH week. Taylor is trying to keep this showmance under wraps because she low-key is kind of ashamed to show off her man to the house because she thinks that's poor jury management to do it. And I'm not going to knock her that much for it, but once again, how do you expect Monty to be all in with this relationship if he feels like from his point of view, you're not all in with him? Like to some extent, it's like Monty is playing a losing battle, right? If Taylor tries to finesse him and he falls for it, oh, look at him, he's an idiot. If he never falls for it and he continuously controls the game, people hate on him because he's too good at it. It's almost like they just want him to bend the knee and just play badly. But at the end of the day, if he would have just bent the knee and played badly, Michael would still be here. Taylor would have no chance to win. Listen, man, let's not pick and choose when we want this brother to be the knight in shining armor. Let's let him just be that. He's willing to go to Final Two and straight up lose to her. I don't know if Allison Grodner pulled him aside and promised him a gig. I don't know what it is, but your sacrifice will not be overlooked by recency bias radio, Monty. I want that to be stated. But for me to see Brittany, and listen, I'm not going to knock someone for fighting hard to stay in this game. I appreciate it. But some of the things Brittany used in her arguments felt very similar to Alyssa when she was talking to Turner last week. You're not going to have my vote. Our friendship is going to be in question forever. Like, same thing Terrance did to Brittany. Remember when Terrance did those things to Brittany and Michael and they thought it was so wrong? Now all of a sudden Brittany doing it to black folks and she thinks she's righteous? But people wonder why I say it's anti-blackness in the subliminally soaked into a lot of her strategic implementation. 1 + 1 = 2 every time, y'all. Come on, y'all. Brittany is so full of crap. And see, this week I saw a lot of Taylor stands jumping back on Brittany's side just because they prefer Taylor winning easily next to her. This girl just voted Taylor out, man. It's time to dog walk that girl, man. Y'all don't forgive Monty that quick, so why y'all forgiving Brittany? And Monty never voted Taylor out. I even saw some people hoping Turner was in Final Two next to Taylor. Y'all'd rather see Turner get that money than Monty? After what Monty did during that double eviction? Look. Yeah, Turner pulled the trigger, but Monty won the veto for the trigger to be pulled. The last thing I want is for this black man's contribution to be swept under the rug like Ricky Williams's was for Tamar. Right now, I see the same things happening. And for me to see members of the cookout co-opt that type of narrative, that's dangerous. Very dangerous. So yeah, Alyssa came to the jury. She threw Taylor under the bus, basically implied the only reason she stayed, the only reason why Monty broke the tie and sent Alyssa home was because Taylor slept with him. Alyssa, newsflash, he would have done that anyway. He was never letting you crack Final Four. I know it's easy for someone like you to believe that, oh, I'm more attractive than Taylor. The only reason. No, you're not either, by the way. And at the end of the day, Coach, we kept the score. You were hoping we would forget what you took part in. You were part of the Nexus event. You were one of the main people antagonizing Joseph. And that's why I didn't want you anywhere near that Final Three. It's not what you deserved. And yes, I get it. Turner also participated in the stumping of Joseph. But that's why on Sunday, I want him to get his karma too for the all-black Final Two. But with that said, after Alyssa said these things about Taylor, production was very savvy, boy. They zoomed in on Joseph's reaction. He looked completely shocked because up until that point, Joseph was like, yes, Monty, yes. Then when he found out Monty got the girl too, it was almost like he was like, damn, Monty, damn. And see, it makes me want to ask questions. from Joseph's point of view, who does he give a vote to in this situation? Does he feel like Taylor wasn't patient enough? Or does he understand? Does he believe Monty deserves the vote because Monty kept Taylor, got Taylor, and brought her to Final Three with him? In Joseph's mind, he could view what Monty's doing as what he would have done if he was Monty. How can he not reward Monty if he would have expected Monty to reward him if roles were reversed? That's a tough question there. And this is why I see this vote being very controversial in theory if Monty wins the final HOH, if he cuts Turner, if he takes Taylor. And that's why you see a lot of Taylor stands preferring a scenario where she wins final 3 HOH, she cuts Turner, she has one more notch in her belt, and that gives her the overwhelming push to win over Monty. And that's why on Sunday night, you're going to see Monty and Taylor competing very hard just to be the one to cut Turner first. And that's what's going to make Sunday very interesting. So for all the people thinking that Taylor's going to cut Monty, it's not going to happen. No one wants to risk giving a jury that was okay with racist gameplay the chance to reward a white winner. Not if they have the chance, these two black players. If Turner ends up in Final 2, he won that final HOH himself. That's just how these things are being played. Monty's already told Taylor, Turner cannot make Final 2. Monty's already told Brittany he plans to take Taylor with him to Final 2. All of these things are important. And because Monty is focused on the prophecy, because he has not hesitated for the most part, things are looking on the up and up. Things are looking good. And listen, man, this season has been amazing. As an audience, I feel like you all have been amazing. But if I had to give you all a comparison, before we get into answering your questions, because I know y'all got some questions and I'm going to answer them. And patrons, by the way, let me know if y'all would like me to do a Patreon exclusive tomorrow after the, because you know there's another episode tomorrow where they go over the favorite moments of the season and stuff. Because this is such an iconic Final 3, I wouldn't mind giving y'all a Patreon rant, some icing on the cake. Y'all know I'm not covering Survivor because it's anti-black. Listen, it is what it is. Listen, Marianne got the dub, and we pulled back out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is. But there is one thing I wanted to mention. I like to create analogies of other shows, sometimes other movies, right? And I'm willing to admit Monty and Taylor's relationship is toxic on the surface. But you got to understand, production chose a man that was a mechanical engineer. That's what Taylor's father was. He's the same age as Taylor. Taylor's always been attracted to him. She was attracted to him before she was attracted to Joseph. To me, production was on some are you the one type-ish. You feel it, dig me? But with that said, if I could compare this couple to any couple that's currently on television, I would have to compare them to Rhaenyra Targaryen and Kristen Cole from Game of Thrones presents House of the Dragon. Now, I'm not trying to get into spoilers. I'm not going to spoil nothing for none of y'all, so please don't click off this video. I'm just going to say this. If you've watched the first 5 episodes of some odd of this season so far, you know Monty is Sir Kristen Cole. He's the prince who was promised. He is the sworn protector of the incumbent queen. Rhaenyra Targaryen is the breaker of games. She is the manifestation, the womanifestation of Taylor Hale. Here to bring the Jakarta's Hale to all that oppose her. Their relationship is quite toxic on the show. The way they jumped off was very similar to Monty and Taylor in HOH. Listen, if you watch the show, you know this analogy is top tier. And if you watch the episode from Sunday, you also know Kristen Cole got some baggage he working with because he understands he can't have her even though they both want each other. In a lot of ways, I feel like that was the disconnect between Monty and Taylor this week. Brittany was like, what's that other character's name? I forgot her name. Otto's daughter. I forgot her name. I ain't trying to get in spoilers. To me, Brittany was always hating on them. Just like that one girl in a green dress was. Hating on them. But love always wins in the end, baby. And whenever I can see black love win in the end, I'm never going to scoff at that. But what y'all got to understand is, just like this past Sunday's episode, Monty, during that double eviction, he had to regulate a little bit. He had to regulate. And ever since, let's keep it a bean, Taylor's really had no reason to really be nervous ever since. And there have been so many years, so many seasons of me seeing sisters specifically. Like, yo, where the black men at that's on code? Where the black men at that's going to protect us? Where the black men at that's going to do right? Look, we might not agree with the things that come out of his mouth. But when it's time for a comp to start, we can agree with them results, coach. And all I'm asking is, when this season is over, you don't have to like the man, but at least respect his contribution to getting Rhaenyra Targaryen, Taylor Hale, the crown she was due. That's all I'm saying. All right, now I'm on my way to answer y'all questions, coach. Ask me whatever you want. All right. This is the second to last public rant of the season. It's very bittersweet. I will also, ladies and gentlemen, I will be doing a postseason worst to first that will be on Patreon as well after the season. So that is something as well to look forward to. A lot of people have been saying, hey, can you do another worst to first now that the season's almost over? I will be doing that because if you all remember my preseason worst to first, Taylor and Monty, they weren't even top 12. I can't remember where they ranked, but they were very low. Reverse psychology, baby. There was no pressure on them if I don't put it on them. But that's neither here nor there. But all right, I'm ready to answer y'all questions, though. This has been a fantastic season. You all have been a fantastic audience. And we're just building from here, you know? And I couldn't be more happy with what has transpired this season. Brittany got her karma. Alyssa got her karma. Michael got his karma. Kyle got his karma. In my opinion, everything is right with civilization. All right? That's just my take on it. I don't know how y'all think, but that's how I look at it. By the way, shout outs to Tamika Randall for the super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You already have your Infinity Gauntlet, so all I can do is say thank you. Yeah, her name is Alicent Hightower. That's her name, Karen. That's basically who Brittany was. She was Alicent, right? She was Alicent. Well, I could argue Alyssa is a little bit like Alicent. She basically... All right, I ain't trying to get too deep into that. Y'all, watch it if you want. All right? I'm not trying to spoil nothing for y'all. All right? Because you know me, I can I can freestyle and talk about another show on y'all. But that's neither here nor there. People going to be like, hey, man, do them House of the Dragon rants on Patreon. I'll think about it. But that's neither here nor there. Miss Game says, Britt was very insulting to Monty, insinuating Monty is not intelligent over Turner. And see, that's my problem, Miss Game. Thank you for that comment, by the way. Brittany was willing to take Turner to Final 2, but she's telling Taylor Turner beats her and Monty in Final 2. If that's the case, why were you so willing to sit next to him? Because you knew he don't beat nobody left. To the point where even yo ass, who's become quite a goat because everyone thinks they can wash you, Brittany, even you thought you could wash Turner. You're the goat calling Turner slimy when you're the most slimy one left. Boy, you out here on that reptile stuff like Caldemort. Let's keep it a bean. You just didn't expect Monty to hit you with the fatality uppercut and send you to the spikes beneath. You villain me? Damn, that man catching bodies in this street. He looking like Sleepy Hollow out here. CJ says, man, it would be wild if Monty took Taylor and he won. Twitter would be in shambles. And see, that's what I really want black women to get a winner, right? And for that reason, I want Taylor to win by any means necessary. People don't understand. Once one of your representatives gets over that hump, you can watch the next season with house money. I told patrons, I think this is why my content to some people is better. Because it's less pressure on a black man having to get it done. I want that for sisters. I'd be a hypocrite to not acknowledge that for y'all. And that's why I'm in lockstep with y'all. I want this to get done, baby. Because I see the positive impact Taylor winning will have on the game. And I see the amount of salt ball face Daniel would have, Paloma would have. We know she ain't even invited to the finale. She's an Azkaban herself. She didn't even make jury. Exposed. You feel it, me? They sent her where they sent Peter, what's homeboy name from Goblet of Fire? Cedric Diggory. They sent her where they sent Cedric Diggory. You feel it, me? They Expelliarmused her, Havacadabraed her to the Shadow Realm. That's just what it is. It's just what it is. You feel it, me? But yeah, Patreon, y'all definitely finna get some heat. Don't worry. I got y'all tomorrow night. I'm in no rush for this season to end. Isaiah asked the question, Coach, did you see Joseph's face when he found out Monty and Taylor are close? Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. I felt a little bad for JoJo, man. At the end of the day, though, Joe, trust me when I say, dog, your DM's finna be flooded anyway. You feel it, dig me? Like, you'll bounce back, B. You'll bounce back. You know? But unfortunately, the real bounce back is Monte this week. You feel it, dig me? Listen, they on the double or nothing loving basketball side of the game. Monty giving that Quincy energy. I'm just saying. He giving that Quincy energy. It is what it is. Before the injury. And Taylor is definitely going Sanaa Lathan on y'all with the brown sugar. You feel it, dig me? Yeah. See, that's the reason why I didn't do the Survivor rant last night. Something told me, I don't know, my spidey senses be tingling these days, and I know, don't cover that show, it's trash. Like I felt, I had an itch like Billy Kidman. If you know, you know. I had an itch like Billy Kidman, and it told me, Challenge USA, don't cover it. Survivor this season, don't cover it. You feel it, dig me? It is what it is. Diane says Taylor is not Monty's preference for real, and I'll agree with you on that. I don't think Monty is necessarily Taylor's first preference either, okay? But with that said, I still see, with the right amount of therapy, how both of them could be perfect for each other too. But with that said, I try not to dive deep into criticizing relationship drama because let's be real. If the majority of us had cameras watching us with our significant other in our arguments, we'd look bad too. Because we say stuff when we're emotional. We hurt those we love very often when we're fired up with the things we say to them. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, I'm a proponent of if Taylor can forgive him, we also can. But the way people are obsessed with making sure Taylor doesn't stay with him, it's like, yo, it's not your life. Chill. Like, let her live her life, bruh. But that's just my take on it. She's a grown woman, man. Let her make her own decisions. And I don't necessarily disagree with the people that want to see her with other people. I don't necessarily disagree with that. But I'm not the relationship guy. I talk strategy. And from a strategic standpoint, their relationship was very advantageous for the both of them. And that's why I support it. The only way for them to make Final Two was for them to get romantic, in my opinion. That next step needed to be taken, man. And they took it. Tempest asked the question, where does Cody rank all time? See, that's difficult. He won an All-Star season, but I don't think the difficulty level of that season was very hard. You had Danielle Donato, who clearly wanted to jump his bones. Let's keep it real. Dominic, you need to watch her around Cody. I'm just saying. I felt like Nicole, to a certain degree. I always felt like Nicole. I ain't going to really get into Nicole like that. But I'm just going to say, I felt like the way Nicole and Danielle played, it was like they were just always handing the game to Cody. They never once tried to take Cody out. They just constantly followed him to the end of the world. Enzo as well. And we know that season was heavily influenced by a pre-season alliance, a pre-game deal. So, and we know that Derek also played a role in that. It's hard for me to act as if Cody is top 5 best winners ever with that amount of context. With that said, though, he played a hell of a game. In my opinion, if he would have cut Derek, took Victoria or Veronica, I think it was Victoria. If he would have taken her to Final Two during BB16, I think Cody's easily top 5. Because cutting Derek in that moment would have been an Xavier-type move of cutting Kylan. I would have loved that type of move. But with that said, because he didn't make that cut, because I don't think Derek could have played BB22 All-Stars and won. I think once people knew he was a cop coming into that game, he's food. So, so in a sense, it had to go the way it went because there's no way both of them win if Cody wins first. Cody had to win second, if that makes any sense. But with that said, hey man, Cody made 2 final twos the 2 times he played. The only person who could say that is Dan himself, Dan Giesling. That's rare. That's rare company. And now I'm talking myself into him being top 5. I'm talking myself into it now. Listen, man, hey, I'm unbiased. You know what? He's top 5. He's top 5 now. I talked myself into an argument that I would lose to. There it is. Good question. Anytime you could get me arguing with myself, oh man, you really made me think. I don't think he's mid-tier now that I thought about it, Ubong. I don't think so. There's something that needs to be said with his charm. He always makes women women never go after him. He's always a guy's guy also. And he's never been in a showmance either. But he always plays that way. I'm gonna be honest, it's exceptional. And you know I'm a big fan of Paulie Calafiore, one of my favorite challenge players ever. In a lot of ways, I stopped watching the challenge because Paulie and Carl were kicked off. I really thought that was a dumb decision by MTV. C-Dub, I agree with you. I do think to a certain extent Monty may have fallen in love a bit. The fact that he's now willing to cut Turner, man. Taylor got him in the. She got him in the genjutsu, boy. She got him in the genjutsu, huh? She got him in the poison ivy of it all. Shout outs to Uma Thurman. Marianne Ali says, who do you think are winning AFP? I'm happy you asked me that question because I would like to endorse Taylor for AFP right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right. For the people who don't know how to make sure Taylor wins this, because you need to understand, Kyle Hive has flash mobbed their way to try to push him to front row. I don't know how Kyle has gotten this type of support out of nowhere, considering what his edit looked like. But that once again shows that we have a systemic problem with casuals that want to reward races, but that's neither here nor there. But for the people who don't know how to vote for this, you go to cbs.com/BBVote. Votes will be accepted until 9 a.m. September 25th. So that is Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday morning, the night of the finale, all right? You get 10 votes per email address. So, hey, if you got some burner accounts, pull that Kevin Durant off. We need to make sure this sister ends up with the whole kit and caboodle, all right? I'm talking the full house, all right? We've never seen a winner also win AFP. And for that person to be, for the first time ever, be a black person, let alone a black woman, when the black woman's first time has won the game, I think that would be fantastic to witness. But with that said, all right, I'm going to continuously answer more questions and get your thoughts on other things. Yeah, DJ No Time is definitely a Taylor hater, coach. If Monty is sitting next to Taylor, I think DJ No Time is definitely giving the vote to Monty. Right now, the way the votes shake out, I think Kyle is for Monty. Terrance is for Monty. By proxy, Alyssa's for Monty. I think Indy's for Monty. Right now, it's looking very close to me how this could shake out. Very close. And that's what we want, right? We don't want a finale that's a foregone conclusion. If it doesn't have a little bit of suspense to it, it's going to feel like Taylor didn't earn it, right? We want these things. We want these things. I mean, let's be honest. BB23's finale, we all knew X was going to win. Ozza was prepared to take him to Final 2 over Big D. Big D was prepared to take Xavier to Final 2 over Ozza. In a lot of ways, Monty is playing like you, X. Why didn't you give him credit tonight, X? I don't get it. I don't get it. But okay. All right, whatever. It is what it is. I'm just saying. Feels like people hit them with a gag order and said, you cannot give the black man credit tonight. We're not having it. The first 15 minutes of this edit dictates you can't give him no credit. Oh, yeah, Paloma's not on the AFP page because she won't even be there for finale night anyway. So they're not even going to – come on, man. She didn't even get a comic. So why would she be part of the AFP vote? Let's just keep it a bean. Right now, she is a tree that falls when no one's there to see it. Did she really play Big Brother 24? Because if you ask fans 10 years from now, they're going to say BB24 was a 15-player season. That's how history going to forget you, Paloma. Listen, people are prepared to forget Monty, and he didn't became the prince who was promised. We definitely going to forget you. Because you almost infected Monty's mind something serious. You almost gave him grayscale. I'm got to keep it a bean. So it is what it is. Yeah, Joe going to be all right. Let's keep it real. He going to be all right. You're right. Joseph did like Ameerah. I went back and watched that exit interview he did with her. Everything we ever discussed was real. I'm like, damn, bruh, what is this? I ain't even gonna say what I was finna say. But what is this? Eliminate? You feel it? Eliminate. Down, 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 down. Monty actually is a good person. Thank you for saying this. People are just hating it, don't want to admit Monty goes through what every man goes through, emotional swings when you actually have feelings for someone. And that's just what it is, man. The man went up to the upstairs DR. He got a therapy session in. Listen, he tried his best to do the right thing, you know. He gave her space. Then she gave him space and didn't let him come upstairs for a night. And then he realized how much he missed being upstairs at night. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Taylor had to do that. She had to demand some respect. This ain't a given. I decide when we take showers. You really dig me? And I can respect that. Because Alyssa wouldn't even done that to Kyle. She'd have been like, every night, come on over. 10 seconds of pop. Let's get it cracking crock pot. You feel me? Whereas Taylor, listen, first of all, Taylor wouldn't even rock with Monty if he only went 10 seconds. So I don't even know why Alyssa is trying to shit on her. Let's keep it a beat in these streets. You out here getting it popping on butterfly floaties. You feel it, dig me? Listen, Taylor don't get it popping unless she's sitting in the royal suite. You feel it, dig me, coach? You will be in a have-not room where people don't take showers and be like, it smells bad, but who cares? So stop slut-shaming the sister when what you've done is by far more unbecoming. And I am in no way trying to slut-shame her. But when she is over here, I'm a girl's girl, I'm a girl's girl. And then you do that the minute some other person has sex when Taylor has been one of the biggest supporters of you and Kyle getting into that condom box and getting it cracking. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Thank you, Jersey First. Hey, man, I'm happy y'all appreciate these analogies, man. A lot of these I whip out. Now, some of these I'll have prepared because you'll see the picture ready. But if I don't have a picture for it, I'm pulling it out of my head. Like, I'm just going. Yeah, the right amount of therapy, baby. Without that therapy, with you know what I'm saying? Maybe we ain't here today. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I think black folks in general, we all should be open to therapy here and there. All right? And this is the first black showmans to make it this far. Y'all, we need to take into context, they are feeling pressure that no one has ever felt in their position before. No one. You feel me? So try to give them a little bit of a break, man. You know? Like, I don't think anything either one of them has done is cancel worthy at all. Fuji thinks Monty will beat Taylor. I don't know. I got a feeling production is going to be like, hey, man, we need somebody to pull a topaz and think they're voting for Monty but vote for Taylor here. I don't know. I've seen Gary Glitter get stumped out accidentally. I'm just saying, dog. I don't know. The way the cookout was put on orders to not give that black man any due, any credit, I don't know. It feel like it's preordained to a degree. I don't know. But with that said, I still do not want that outcome of Monty beating, because I just know what it will lead to. We don't need that, man. Listen, I'm telling y'all, man, I see why. I can look into the future and see Taylor winning right now is what we need. It's the next step in the evolution of the golden age. It's the next step in holding off the stone age forever. We got to take this opportunity. Do you not understand how hard it will be for the next black women that play this game after Taylor? All of them. Taylor was targeted week 1 after Tiffany. If you think there's going to be a backstage pass that can save the next black woman, I got some oceanside property in Wyoming for you. You feel it, dig me? They finna be on the Red Dead Redemption side of the game next season, bruh. I'm being honest. We need to get in and get it while we can, dog. It's a heist, bruh. Let's go get this money. These dead presidents. For real, though. I agree with y'all. Paloma who? Who is that? I don't know about that one. Yeah, they are giving really good TV, though. Like, I haven't seen such steamy showmance TV segments in a long time. That shit is steamy, yo. If both of them, and I'm not saying this seriously, I'm being a joke. It's a joke. If both of them started at OnlyFans right after Sunday, all of Monty's haters would still pay money. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean. All I'm saying is, listen, man, they entertaining us in Final Four when that stuff never happens. They have made this entire season the entire time. But the fact that no matter how many differences they have, the fact that they could still come back together, be on code, show some affection, to a certain extent, that's the American dream. Everyone deserves a second chance. I said that so many times. There's so many rants this season. And it's super dope to see both of them give each other a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance. Because that's what black love is, man. It's not perfect. But like I told patrons, it is explosive. And it is powerful. And you see it. Ever since they've hooked up with each other, show me a comp Monty or Taylor have lost. They've literally swept every comp since they hooked up. Y'all don't understand that energy they sharing with each other. But do I gotta show this again? It's Sir Kristen Cole and Rainier. Oh snap, that's the vote now. It's Sir Kristen Cole and Rainier. I'm telling you right now, man, it's some power going on in between them, man. When I say this is a prophecy, I'm not joking. I've seen a lot of black players want to hook up and then fluke it after that. I've seen a lot of white players hook up and can't win comps after that. Hell, Alyssa got 10 seconds, ain't won shit since. Taylor, she gets round 1 to round 12 for a few nights, and she out here looking like Misha Tate. Come on, coach. It feel like Taylor got a roster update overnight. As soon as her and Monty became a thing, roster update. Resilience plus 30. Clutch gene plus 50. Ability to win in any circumstance. Infinite. You feel it, dig me? It's like, whoa. But this is why I'm not criticizing this showmance, man. Do y'all not see? Do y'all not see how they are a shining example of what we can do when we're together? Seriously. Did Zakiya win many comps after she hooked up with Paulie? I'm just saying. Bailey won some comps after she hooked up with Swaggy, but they did Swaggy dirty. That's why I don't count them. What happened to them that was Stone Age shit. That wasn't fair. But with that said, we saw what Bailey would be like when she played the challenge. She made a final with a bad knee. Let's keep it a bean. And finished the final with a bad knee. We saw KC with a bad knee not even finish eating food. I'm just saying. When sisters feel protected, they can go and take on the world and feel invulnerable. It's when they don't feel protected, the hesitation seeps in. And what we saw out of Taylor this season, when she was HOH, she had power, she had an alliance, but everyone that was in it didn't have a back. Monty did, Joseph did, but that was about it. Nexus event happened, Joseph gets taken out, Monty realizes, oh, these motherfuckers, them grifters, It's me, her, and Turner versus the world, and that's how I'm playing. And Monty legitimately fulfilled his win condition just to be told he can't win. That's tough. But at the end of the day, Monty, I want you to know the black community does appreciate what you did. Don't get it twisted. There's a vocal minority that'll make you feel like you ain't do a damn thing. But the true smart fan is going to know that your contribution was irreplaceable. As Pep Guardiola once said, we cannot replace him. We cannot replace him. And we couldn't replace you this season, Coach. We couldn't. Especially when he kicked Marvin off. Salute to Marvin. I hear you're on the circle that's coming out, that's about to start, or maybe it already has started. It's going to be interesting to see how Marvin plays that, because something tells me people are not going to be like, woo, we dodged a bullet getting Joseph. I don't know. Something tells me Marvin ain't going to be that good on the circle. I'm rooting for you, though. I just don't watch the show. I'm just saying. Yeah, it is what it is. There's some things I'm not going to regurgitate. Excuse me. C-Dub asked the question, which one, Taylor or Ameerah? Are you talking about from a gameplay standpoint? Honestly, that's tough for me because Ameerah touched the block once and crumbled. Taylor touched the block 5 times, stayed strong. With that said, I feel like Ameerah is one of the few players with no power that can influence an entire HOH week. But there's an argument to be had. She could only influence the game of Jasmine. That's all we saw. I mean, she had some influence over Daniel, but she didn't really dictate him nominating Taylor and Terrance necessarily. I think both sisters played great games. I think we didn't really get to see all of Ameerah, all the tools in her locker. But it's a good thing we didn't get to see all her tools because it allowed Taylor to rise to the occasion. Sometimes an injury happens on the team, an unexpected injury, and sometimes that 7th round draft pick has to step up. And sometimes that 7th round pick becomes Tom Brady. I'm not saying Taylor's a 7th round pick, but in terms of the expectation of how we thought she would perform after week 1 compared to where we are now, it's damn near the Tom Brady story. I'm just saying. So, it is what it is. Yeah. I hope that's not true, Uba. But if y'all have any more questions, I would love to answer them. Once again, the rant tomorrow night, I am going to make it Patreon exclusive, just discussing some of the funny moments of the season. I will be returning Sunday evening for the final public rant of the season. And of course, we will be following that up in a couple of days with the postseason worst to first. Sabrina left the super chat. Salute to you. She says, Monty will go down in history if he told Taylor I will take you to final 2 because we have to make history and you have to win this. I hope so, Sabrina. I hope so. I hope so. That's all I can say. I hope so. But I saw what happened to Ricky Williams, man. Boy, that man, he did the right thing. And before he did the right thing, he was bashed all the time. Then he did the right thing, and it was like, yep, you should have done the right thing all along. That's why we're not giving you credit for doing the right thing. And then everyone forgot about him, his contribution. I'm just hoping these things don't happen to Monty, man. Tamika asked a question, would you ever want to do an interview, at least for us? Oh, absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. But you got to understand, you need media credentials to do these interviews. And up until this season, I haven't been the most beloved. So just know, if I do get interviews, it will be in the future. But I highly doubt I will be getting any interviews referring to this season right now. But we're on the right path to start to get interviews. I truly believe the minute I get interviews, we're going to get a lot more clear answers from players. That's all I'm going to say. But I will give credit to I forgot what website that is. The one sister who does ask questions that held Terrance accountable. Really good at her job. I wish I knew the platform, and I'm sure y'all know who I'm talking about, but it's a black lady who does the interviews for a media publication, and she does a fantastic job. In my opinion, she does the best interviews on the internet. Um, it's really unfair to her that I can't remember the platform that she does it on, because it is an ET Canada or nothing like that. But she does a fantastic job, and I hope she continues to do what she's been doing. Emmy asks a question: who do you want to see come back to Big Brother from this season? I want to see Joseph. Michael. Joseph, Michael, and Ameerah. I think those are the top three. Mainly because I don't think Monty could ever do any better than he just did. Taylor is likely to be the one who wins. And I wouldn't want to see her be put through this ever again either. Um, Turner, kind of same thing there. Yeah, I'd probably want to see those three play again. Showbiz Cheat Sheet. Thank you for that call out, Selena. Yes, Showbiz Cheat Sheet. They do fantastic interviews. Thank you. I'm so happy I was able to say that out loud to y'all on the platform, because they deserve that name. They deserve that call out. Um, Will Helminas asked the question: did you see Brittany? Dad is worth $300 million. Wait a minute now. So this girl is guilt tripping people to let her make final two so she can have money to afford a baby when her dad is rich? Allegedly? That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. There's some things I would never implement into the strategy of the game for me to stay in the house, especially if I knew it's kind of sleazy to do so. For her to call Turner slimy when she's holding on to such a secret like that, like, why was she so entitled to the money then? It's very weird. Maybe she doesn't get on with her father. I don't know. Things are complicated, man. Ricky got no respect for the Tamar win. Go for gold, Monty. LOL. C-Dub don't care. And see, that is the tough part of this, man. That's the moral dilemma, right? Take Taylor, don't get your credit, or take Turner and get your credit. Would you rather be hated or be forgotten? That's tough. But unfortunately, I think that is the decision Monty has in front of him: be hated or be forgotten. If you're hated, you got $750,000 before taxes. If you're forgotten, you got 75K. You may still be allowed to date Taylor a little bit, and Taylor might help you get into that fashion lane. I saw there was pillow talking. Monty said he's interested in getting into the health and fitness lane. Taylor's into the pageantry fashion lane. I don't know, man. Power couple pivoting prowess is possible. I had to give y'all the 5 P's of alliteration there. I'm just saying, it's possible. But that's where it comes down to, man. Is love more important than money when you gonna get some money anyway? Or does the money mean more to you? And when you think about how Monty stopped doing his mechanical engineering uh, occupation to pursue something else, he is a risk taker, even though he says he's risk averse. And you would think someone who makes a decision like that doesn't value money to such a degree where they'll force themselves down the path of doing a job they hate to constantly keep making money. That's why I believe it is somewhat within character for Monty to take Taylor and not care about making the lesser end of the money. Because we could argue that's what he did when he scrapped the engineering field. So, yeah, it's quite the decision there. But with that said, even if you're forgotten by some, I still believe your legacy, every time Taylor's mentioned, it's going to be very hard for people to forget Monty. It's going to be very hard because when people think about BB24, they're going to think about Michael and Taylor, but they're going to remember how Michael went out, and that's going to bring up Monty every time. So, listen, it is what it is, but yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm open to these interviews, coach. Don't think I'm not. You feel it in me? I'll speak it into existence. But with that said, you got to walk before you can run in these streets. I'm aware of these things. Emmy asked a question. What do you think of Daniel saying Taylor stalked him on his podcast this past week? Taylor stalked him? Oh, he must mean when he was in the house with her. Ah, it clearly is slander. But you see, I don't even want to talk about that guy. You got to understand, he's obscure. He's irrelevant. He's a pre-jury boot. He was a super fan who targeted a super fan just for that super fan to get him out 4 weeks later. He's the guy who called out Monty and said, hey, this guy's going to go on to win this game if you all don't take him out. And Monty's going to end up in final two. And if Monty doesn't win next to Taylor, it's going to disprove everything everything Daniel had to say, Fanny Pack Danny had to say. But with that said, coach, I don't even want to give that dude any energy because a lot of what he does on the internet is trolling. And you got to understand, he's aware of the fact that his dream got squashed and he got exposed as a mediocre player. The one thing he has left is to try to drag people down with him into the abyss. And that's why he's so desperate to criticize people. He knows criticizing Taylor will get him interactions for better or worse. And that's why I highly recommend y'all just ignore him, man. Mute him, block him, do something. I agree, Edmund. You can't cut 16 checks, only one. And see, listen, let me say this. From a constructive standpoint, resume versus resume, Monty deserves to win this game. Unfortunately, and it's not even unfortunately. Let me take that back. But at the end of the day, the narrative that Taylor is coming with is too strong, man. It's too strong. It's like Jerome Bettis running in between the tackles, man. I'm being honest, dog. Who is going to tackle that man? Who's going to get in the way of that? Nobody. And once Taylor gets a chance to deliver that speech, woo-wee, popcorn, you're going to be in trouble. So, ladies and gentlemen, those were my thoughts. All right, I don't want to ramble on any longer, but I wanted to give you all a rant. I know I was a little bit tardy, a little bit late, so I wanted to make up for that towards the end of it. Hope you all have enjoyed yourselves tonight. Understand, the only reason why Monty and Taylor got into any conflict was because Taylor felt like she had to prove to Brittany she was more loyal to her than the man she was with. That's what it was all about. It was all about Taylor securing Brittany's vote over Monty's. And when you understand the context of Brittany a couple of weeks ago saying she'd vote for Monty over Taylor, it does kind of vindicate Taylor in wanting to make sure she locks that vote in. With that said, for Brittany to wait until earlier today to admit to what she did, for her to create narratives all week that Monty was being irrational, only for her to come clean at the last second to what she did to Taylor. And for her to say, oh, I only voted you out because I knew you were staying anyway. And kudos to Taylor for keeping her wits about her and not overreacting to it, letting her know she's not taking it personally. That's how Taylor had to carry it because Taylor has to guilt trip Brittany now into voting for her no matter what. Brittany's going to that jury house feeling like shit, and rightfully so. And it's what she deserves for being so quick to turn on the black people who got her here along with Michael in favor of that white alliance that she selectively sidesteps, but was so willing to be in an all-white Final Three. At the end of the day, Coach, you proved to us all you were more in lockstep with what Kyle was wanting to do than even you and Michael wanted to lead on by your actions towards Taylor last week, and that's why I don't feel sorry for her eviction. I know some Taylor stands wanted Brittany to make Final Three, but understand, Turner put in the work, and he deserves the right to make it to Final Three. Making Final Three is prestigious. It isn't handed to you. It isn't given, it is earned. And in my opinion, the three people we see in Final Three are the best representation of this season. the best representatives for this season. And that's why this rant is entitled Triple Threats Thursday. Because truly, all three of these players in any other season would have a claim to the throne, would have 750K. Unfortunately, they have to compete versus each other. Their strength of schedule heading into the part one of the final HOH is going to be quite difficult. Everyone expects Taylor to be able to outlast them in endurance. So it really comes down to whether or not Monty can beat out Turner in part two and guarantee a black winner for part three. Everything I've seen from Monty up until this point tells me he has the tools to get Turner out and keep him from part three. Now we get to see if the prophecy is really real. I'm Dave Smith for Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism, and I hope y'all have appreciated me keeping it trill. Y'all have a wonderful Thursday night, and I'm going to see y'all again for the finale on Sunday night. As for you patrons, I got you tomorrow. Deuces. Until next time. Alyssa, you salty as hell in that jury.